let's check out this post by Uber CTO, or this is Anissa Gardazi, and reviewing some news by the Uber CTO saying that they had already spent all of their Claude budget, and 2026 is not even halfway over yet, but they have spent all the budget. They said, I thought we need is blown away already. Now, this is interesting. Okay, so this talk here, engineering team forgot how to write boilerplate. I don't agree with this kind of take. I think, I don't doubt they forgot how to write boilerplate. It's just faster to do it with an LLM. But that being said, if you're writing getters and setters, don't use Claude Opus. That's probably how they ended up burning through their budget. I don't know, what's your take on this one?
Yeah, well, I mean, my take on it for the last year or so is that Anthropic offers the least cost-efficient, value per dollar on the market. And Claude Code is by far and away the most popular harness now, and kind of by default and by functionality, it's meant to be used with Anthropic's models. You can point it to other models, but that's part of what they want, is people conflate Claude Code, the harness, with Claude, the models, Opus and Sonnet. And there are other options. I've been trying to get people to switch over to Codex, and you're seeing this now. Like it's overtaken it in downloads. Like there's a tidal shift happening now with Codex. They've been doing a really good job of marketing and branding and social media presence. The model quality is amazing. GPT 5.5, a lot of people are preferring it to Opus 4.7. Obviously, I've been ahead of the curve in advocating for independent harnesses and independent models beyond that. And that's why I'm excited about Fireworks and open weight models. That's why I'm excited about open source harnesses like OpenHands and Open Code, and even non-open source ones that are independent like Factory Droid. I feel like people need to step outside of their comfort zone and try alternatives and not just go with whatever's the most popular thing, because often that gets leveraged into, the way that Cursor did. It's like, oh, this is the de facto tool in enterprise use, so we're going to do that 1,000% markup. We're going to charge people a lot more than they would be paying a competitor that offers similar value just because we have the brand.
Yeah, I can only echo and repeat what you're saying. Like, I remember when you told me to try out Open Code, and even just using Open Code with their Zen, which is like their own provider where you can try a bunch of different models. And with Open Code, it's great because you can see like a little price ticker as you're using your session. And that's exactly what Claude does not want to give you, because it really makes you feel like, wow, is this spend worth it at this point in time? And you can switch. At the time when I started, you can use Open Code with Claude, and you can see this conversation was like a $29 conversation at API rates. Well, you can have the same conversation with Kimi K2.4 at the time for like 80 cents. So it wouldn't, sure, at personal rates right now with all the, you could take the hit, but at scale, $29 times a million is very different than 80 cents times a million. And that's how you blow through so much budget. So, right, if you give all your engineers and unlimited Claude, right, and the Claude salespeople, that's exactly what they want to do. They want to onboard you onto the Claude platform and just, completely encapsulate you. Where you have to know other options, and you have to know, well, when can I use Haiku? When can I use Sonnet? When can I use Opus? Do not use Opus for everything. Learn how to use Open Code. Learn how to use OpenHands or Pi, or write your own. I think that there's a time to go deep and there's a time to go broad. And right now is one of those times where breadth is what's going to help you.
I also think that there's an interesting adoption curve thing happening, where previously people, companies wanted their staff to adopt AI, and they were happy to see people using AI. It's like, yes, please, welcome to the new century and the new decade, and this led to eventually this brief window of token maxing, That might become a Merriam-Webster word of the year, where people would, brag about how many billions of tokens they used, and this was applauded, and this was celebrated, and it was bragging rights. And companies wanted their employees to adopt AI and make heavy use of AI. That was like a proxy or an indicator for modernizing. Eventually, it gets to the point where the price needs to be justified by value, and you need to not just use as much AI as possible, but you need to start thinking about efficiency and trade-offs and ROI, and these are like bringing things down to earth again.
Yeah, this is Goodhart's law again, right? If people get bragging rights or burning through tokens, they're going to burn through tokens. I heard, I can't say how I know, but folks, various friends at Amazon are saying the same thing. There's a token leaderboard, but then they're like, hey, come on, don't burn through so many tokens. Yeah. Well, you told me to burn through tokens. There's a leaderboard. What do you want? And it's really hard to quantify, like, well, what's efficient token use? I mean, if you're the person who invents the next S3, that was an efficient use of tokens, but you don't know that until a ways after the fact. Okay, I guess takeaway for this section: if you are running a company and you run a token usage leaderboard, don't be surprised when people respond to the very incentive you just gave them. And zooming out, use something other than Claude Code Opus for everything. You can do the same thing. I mean, this is like complaining that you drove your Ferrari to get groceries and then your per mile costs are really high. Use the old Corolla. Okay, next one.